What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm super excited because we're gonna be doing a full makeup tutorial, but we're gonna put a little spin on it. And I'm gonna be using my #1 drugstore product for each category of makeup. So basically just doing my makeup, full face of my drugstore favorites. This was so much harder than I expected though, because it forced me to pick only one favorite. Because you guys know in the past when I've done like drugstore starter kit videos or favorites videos, like I've always had like more than one in each category for most things. But I really buckled down, picked my #1 top favorite for each category of makeup. So starting with primer all the way through the lips. My favorite products, everything is drugstore, everything is affordable. I'm super excited. I got this idea from Jessica Braun. She did this video a couple months ago and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to kind of do my own version of it. I feel like my eyes look so puffy because I'm filming super early in the morning today, which I don't normally film this early, and I feel like I'm still half awake, but I'm just so excited to film this and show y'all all my favorites. So without further ado, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and click the little bell right next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, we are starting off strong now. This was a tough one for me, but I knew that I needed to include L'Oreal Lumi Lotion somewhere in this video because this is like probably one of my all-time favorite drugstore products of all time, like in every category. It could be considered a primer, could be considered like a liquid glow product. How I use it though really is as a primer, so that's why I put it in the primer category. It just gives the prettiest glow to the skin. I use the medium glow one. I believe it comes in 4 different shades, so there are a couple different options. How I like to wear it is underneath my foundation like I'm doing right now to give me a really pretty glow. It can be worn as an all-over complexion product if this is the only thing that you want on your skin. You just want something that's a little bit more natural. You can use it like that, or you can also mix it into your foundation directly, which will make the foundation more glowy. I just prefer to do it this way, where I put it down as the first layer and then go on top with my foundation. But a fabulous product. I always get questions about this versus the e.l.f. Halo Glow, which I've talked about this before, but this is a lot less coverage than e.l.f. Halo Glow. e.l.f. Halo Glow is really beautiful, still love that. Gives a beautiful glow to the skin, but a lot more coverage. To me, that is a product that I wear mostly on its own, where this is a product that I wear more so as a primer underneath my foundation. So they are different. They both give a glow, but definitely have a different finish as far as coverage and stuff go on the skin. But look, my skin is automatically more glowy, more awake looking, gives a little like bronzy kind of tint. I love it, and it is absolutely beautiful. Okay, up next for foundation. This is another category that was hard because the drugstore has a lot of good foundations, honestly. But if I really had to pick just one, I ended up going with the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. Other favorites were the L'Oreal True Match. I love that. I also really love the new Revlon Illuminance foundation. That one is beautiful. But this to me is just tried and true. It has SPF in it. It wears really well, gives a great coverage, lasts literally all day long. I wanna say this is waterproof. Like, this stuff is gonna last on your skin, which is what I really like. It performs like a high-end foundation would perform. And although it gives a great coverage, it doesn't feel super cakey or heavy on the skin. And it does have more of like a natural finish. So it's not super matte, not super dewy, just kind of mimics natural skin, but makes it look perfected. So I love it. Like, I literally just did my entire face with one pump of the foundation, and I feel like coverage and everything is good to go. For shade reference, I'm using shade 445. It does come in a bunch of different shades, but I love this product, and if I had to pick just one, it would be this one. Okay, up next, now this might be a little controversial, but really when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? This is the best one, because this is a new product to me, but it has blown me away. It is the Kokie Double Time Full Cover Concealer. So this is a newer concealer from Kokie, but this is literally incredible, like the best Shape Tape dupe that I have ever tried. I would say that it is a better Shape Tape dupe than e.l.f. Camo is. It gives an incredible coverage, but it is not drying. It does have a matte finish, but it still has like a creamy kind of texture to it. I'm gonna do a little in the center planes too. And wears really well, does not crease. Like, it has impressed me so much. Kokie is a drugstore brand that I feel like is super underrated. Like, they do not get enough hype. They have a lot of really good products. The problem is they can be difficult to find. I know they used to have them in store at, I believe it was Walgreens and Rite Aid. Now my local ones do not have them. I don't know if that's because no Walgreens or Rite Aid carry them anymore. I'm not quite sure. But they do have a website, so you can shop directly on their website. I do actually have an affiliate code with them, which is code Kelly, which I believe will get you 20% off if you want to shop directly on their website. I know sometimes they do have their products on Amazon as well, but they're really good. And like, look at the coverage. that concealer gave me. So good, but again, not drying and it doesn't crease and crack throughout the day. So I love it, and it has been my most used concealer like ever since I tried it. So I had to give it the top spot because I can't think of a better drugstore concealer than this one, honestly. Like none of them even really come close. So love that. All right, up next for contour. Now I am gonna include a couple of ColourPop products in today's video. Reason being, this is the ColourPop Bronze Stick. This is $9, which is the same price point as a typical contour bronzer product would be at the drugstore, and this is by far the best. So traditionally, sometimes people will get mad when ColourPop would be included in like drugstore videos because people were like, oh, it's not a drugstore brand, but they're at the same price point as the drugstore, and now you can get them at Target, you can get them at Ulta, like in-store, like many other drugstore brands, and I would be doing a disservice if I told you a different contour just because the brand is like a classic drugstore brand, because it's not gonna be as good as this one. This one is so good, and honestly, like my most used drugstore high-end, like whatever, like I reach for this all the time. It blends really easily. Comes in, I wanna say at least like 5 different shades, and is creamy and buttery and natural. I love it, and is obviously affordable as well. All right, now that we got our face all chiseled out, we gotta go in with blush. There are a lot of good cream blushes from the drugstore, but my always go-to favorite is the e.l.f. Putty blushes. This could be both their regular ones and also their luminous. I love them all. And honestly, you can't go wrong with any of the shades. For today's video, I'm gonna use this one. This is shade Bora Bora. This is just like a pretty bright pink. I've been using this one a lot lately. But what I love about these is they're pigmented, but they're not too pigmented. Some of these cream blushes are honestly just too pigmented, and then you have to sit there and like blend them out for 100 years. Where this gives like the perfect amount of pigment. They last well, they blend well. They don't leave any sort of sticky film, so even if you don't set your face with like an all over powder, they're gonna last all day, and I love them. They come in a bunch of different shades and finishes, so can't go wrong with any of them. Okay, up next we have powder, and my favorite drugstore powder is the Maybelline Fit Me. This is specifically their loose setting powder. This does come in shades, so it is gonna give it a little extra coverage as well, so I have shade light medium. What I like about this the most though is it's very finely milled, so it's not gonna leave you feeling tight, it's not gonna dry your skin out, it's just gonna set your makeup in place and make sure that it lasts all day long, and will help to add a little extra coverage. Isn't gonna give any sort of white cast because it does have that tint to it. So I have always really liked this one from the drugstore. All right, went ahead and zoomed you guys in because we're gonna jump in to the eyes. First, we have the eyebrows, and my favorite is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. Now this and the CoverGirl Micro Brow to me are like exactly the same thing, so I would recommend either of those, like whichever one's cheaper, whichever one's on sale, grab. It's basically a little spoolie on one side and then a tiny little precise pencil on the other. I'm using shade Ash Brown, but these are great. Honestly, work just as good as any high-end micro brow product does. They don't have like a super waxy finish or anything to them. They blend easily in the brows. You can just go in and quickly fill in your brows, and they work really well. So those two have always been kind of like my go-to, because I used to buy like the Anastasia Brow Wiz and all those, and it's like, this is essentially the same thing. The drugstore has a lot of really great brow pencils. So definitely a category even for those who might have like a heavy, you know, high-end makeup collection. Brow pencil, I'm telling you, drugstore, really good. Another place the drugstore I feel like really excels is mascaras, but we gotta do our eyeshadow first before we get to that. For eyeshadows, my overall pick, like if I could only pick one forever, I knew it was gonna be ColourPop because in my opinion, they make the best affordable eyeshadow palettes, but they constantly come out with brand new ones and they're always like changing because they're like more limited edition type, but this is one of their OG staple eyeshadow palettes. This is the Going Coconuts palette, but this is an OG. I love it. It's perfect for every day, but you can amp it up for like date nights and stuff like that. So this would be my pick. And it is again, one of their classic palettes. So they do always have this one rather than a lot of their other ones that kind of just like rotate in. So I wanted to make sure that I picked one that was like always kind of available. I did a collab with ColourPop. Not really like a collab, like I did a favorites bundle with them like a long time ago, years ago. And this is the eyeshadow palette that I chose for that. Like literally loved it then, still love it now. It stayed a part of my staple collection. Gonna add a little sparkle. And by little, I mean a lot. Gonna go in with this pretty all over sparkle on the lid. Like how stinking stunning. I love it. I'm gonna just blend out the lower lash line as well. Absolutely love this palette. All right, so that's that on the eyes. Now for mascara, this was an easy choice, Milani Anti-Gravity. I absolutely love this stuff. Again, mascara is an area where I feel like the drugstore excels. There are so many good drugstore mascaras. This is my favorite, but I do really love the Maybelline Sky High. That one's also amazing. And there are a few others too, so definitely another category where I feel like even if you have a heavy, heavy high-end makeup collection, get you some drugstore mascaras because they are good. Okay, for liner, I personally love a lighter liner. Sometimes I will use like a black or a brown. So whatever color you prefer, I love these liners because they work in the waterline and they don't budge. These are literally the whole label, because I use this so often, is like off of this, but they're called the cream gel liners from ColourPop. The shade of this one, I believe, is Honeydew. It's like a very light tan instead of white. Their white liner is the shade Exit. I do really love that too. But the tan is just like a little bit more natural instead of being like the bright stark white. Like it still opens up the eye and brightens the eye, but it's a little bit more toned down. So this is my personal favorite if I could only choose one. But these come in so many different colors. So again, if you like black, brown, blue, green, whatever it is, they have it. The formula on these is just great. All right, now moving back into the face for bronzer. I love the L'Oreal Bronze Please bronzers. They have a couple different shades in this. It is beautiful. This will literally last you, I think, like your entire makeup life. Like how big is that? I've had it for so long and have not even come close to hitting pan on it. It's natural, it blends, it gives a little bit of a sheen to the skin, but it's not gonna give like glitter or anything like that, and I love it. For blush, my pick is ColourPop Papaya. I'm sure if you watched my videos in the past year, you already knew that I was gonna pick this one, but it is just so pretty, and I love the pop that this gives to the cheeks. I used to always use a blush from NARS that was like a similar shade to this, but now that I found this one, and again, I think this is like $9. I just always use this one. It's so, so good and so pretty. Now for highlight, this is another one that was an easy choice for me. It is the Wet n Wild Hello Halo Blush Lighter Duo. This one is in the shade I Met Someone. You get 2 highlighters for literally under $5. This is normally like $4 and some change. Honestly, any Wet n Wild highlighter you can't go wrong with, but I love the Blush Lighter Duos, where you get 2 options, but they make the prettiest highlights. They're shimmery without having like chunky glitter and just give the prettiest glow and sheen. Up next for liner, I love the Milani Understatement lip liners. This one is in shade 160, but they're all fabulous. They're retractable, so you don't have to worry about like having to sharpen them, and they're pigmented and creamy and just super easy to use. So I love this. Then for a lipstick, I had to go with the e.l.f. O Face Satin Lipsticks. I love these. This one specifically in the shade Dirty Talk is my personal favorite. It is like the perfect everyday pinky nude. Love it. And then for lip gloss, the NYX Fat Oil Lip Drip. I love this. This is in the shade Supermodel. There's a lot of good drugstore lipsticks, glosses, liner sort of products, but this one has been my recent fave. It gives a juicy kind of glow to the lips, but it also does give some nourishment as well. And I love this shade. It's a really, really pretty. And that is everything, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I will list everything down below if you just want easy access. I'll have everything with links to where you guys can get it down below in the description box, so check there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.